Hey everybody, my name is Steven and welcome to Storytime. Today we're going to be reading some r/choosingbeggars stories. And quickly before this video starts, I just want to say about 60% of people who will watch this video aren't currently subscribed. So if you lovely person, enjoy these videos, please make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an upcoming one. With that being said, let's get into the stories. Hand over the toilet paper and no one gets hurt. First, let me start by saying that I do not possess psychic abilities. If I could foresee the future, I'd have used that ability to win the lotto a long time ago. I'd be on an island sipping some 99% rum drink with a splash of whatever fruit juice makes the beverage seem socially acceptable and not just a speedy vehicle to Happy Town. I also do not possess any inside information. I have no special access to what is going on in the world. I just watch the evening news the same as most people. I feel the need to point this out because conspiracy theorists seem to be running freaking rampant on the internet these days. Seriously folks, there really isn't anything special about me, at least not beyond the "we're all special in our own way" bowl my mother used to feed me. This was all pure chance. By sheer coincidence, I restocked my pantry, toilet paper, and cleaning goods just before toilet paper and hand sanitizer became the newest Bitcoin. Seriously, you'd think toilet paper was the universal cure to all ailments the way people are stockpiling it. My stocking up wasn't planned. I just hate shopping. I'm lazy and don't enjoy going to the store. Stores are full of people. I use the term people loosely as zombies. Seems more appropriate to describe their behavior. These people all seem to be in their own little world. They're glued to their freaking phones and only all too happy to slam their carts into my shin while checking their Twitter feed, Facebook alerts, etc. If I'm lucky, I'll get a mumble, which I can only assume was meant to be some sort of apology. To be honest, it's a minor miracle when they even acknowledge someone else's existence. I'm also a cheapskate. I'm not a bargain hunter or any other euphemisms people like to use, but I do know how to stretch a dollar to stay within my budget. Some people like to call me frugal, as if using that term somehow makes it a compliment. Nope, I'm a freaking cheapskate and I admit it. Cooking at home and buying bulk is typically less expensive. As a result, when supplies are running low, I make the trek to the store for a bulk buy to restock. Fear of the virus caused a run on the stores a few days after I had restocked. I had plenty of everything. I was out checking my mail when I ran into one of my neighbors who was visibly upset. She always seemed so nice, so I didn't expect problems from her. I asked her what was wrong. She said that the stores are all out of toilet paper, low on food, and they're talking about closing the schools. She didn't have enough toilet paper or food for her husband and kids to be home all day for an extended period. I told her that I can spare a roll or two of toilet paper. Big mistake on my part. She began giving me a grocery list and telling me what brands she likes for toilet paper, cleaning wipes, orange juice, eggs, cereals, etc. I told her that I'm not a store. I don't have all that stuff, and I certainly wasn't going to give her a month's supply of goods for free. I was only offering a couple rolls of toilet paper to give her time to find a store with some more in stock. She actually said, "But I have children. It's child abuse if you don't get it." For some reason, this lady didn't seem to grasp the concept that her kids are not my responsibility. I'm not their father. I'm not her husband. I'm not even a relative. I wasn't going to spend a fortune buying their groceries at a 1000% markup online. If you could get them at all. I told her she could take the 2 rolls or leave it. She stormed off. A few hours later, her husband knocked on the door. I should have pretended no one was home. He said he was there to pick up their grocery order. I got him the 2 rolls of toilet paper and he got mad and demanded the rest of their groceries. He even threatened to call the cops, accusing me of stealing their grocery order. I laughed so hard I started coughing, which caused a look of horror to appear on his face. No illness, just uncontrollable laughter at the insanity of the situation. The husband wasn't the bad guy. His wife had apparently made it sound like she had ordered groceries online, and I had signed for them while she was out. He thought I was trying to keep their groceries for myself. I told him to feel free to call the cops, but pointed out that before he did so, he should get the receipt from his wife as proof of purchase. The cops won't do anything without proof. I watched as he angrily stomped off to ask her for it. A few minutes later, he came back over and looked very confused. He said his wife wasn't making sense and couldn't produce a receipt. He also couldn't find it in their email account. I explained the situation and he quickly became very apologetic. I told him that I chalked up her behavior to nerves. I'm not sure which he appreciated more, me letting them off the hook easily, or the toilet paper I gave them. Actually, I'm pretty sure he appreciated the toilet paper more. I know I would. So, I don't blame the mother too much for freaking out in this situation, considering she has to care for her husband and kids. I do blame her for lying and saying it was some weird grocery order that was canceled or that they were holding away from them. I don't know what was going on there, but that obviously was not okay and was some scheme that she was trying to make up or some weird thing. Guys, free subscription isn't good enough. I work in a call center, supporting a particular software product intended for professionals in a particular industry. I won't tell you who exactly I work for, but if you manage to guess, please remember that these are my own opinions, not the company's. So an older gentleman calls me up and he's dissatisfied with the wait time. Says to me, "I pay for this subscription and I don't think I should have to wait." I apologize and he goes on to say, "I'm billing $400 an hour, and I don't think they pay you that much, do they?" To be fair to him, we're pretty understaffed and he probably did have to wait a while. So I'm doing the standard customer service grovel, and he's telling me all about how important he is and how vital it is that he have access to support. And eventually I get around to pulling his information out of the system. To start with, he's lying. He doesn't pay for the subscription. He's a professor at a university. I won't tell you which one, but it's not one of the nation's premier schools, to put it mildly. And so he gets his subscription for free as a benefit of his job. Not only that, but since it's an academic subscription, he's not supposed to be using it for non-academic purposes. The kind where you'd bill $400 an hour. I apologize again and then ask him with slight emphasis, if I've got this right, your subscription is through East Bumfrick School of Basket Weaving, right? And he says yes. Suddenly a little subdued. I let it go for the time being. Eventually we resolved his question, and he's about to drop off the line when I hit him with, "By the way, sir, I just want to mention in case you weren't aware, using your academic subscription for a non-academic purpose is a violation of your user agreement." He splutters and stammers, and eventually a coherent answer emerges to the effect that all professors at a school are all doing the same thing, which is just what I was hoping he'd say. "Oh, really? I'm very sorry to hear that. I'll get in touch with the account management team to let them know you told us this, and that some retraining for your whole faculty may be necessary. Is there any specific one of your colleagues you feel we should speak to about this?" Silence, as he frantically tries to think of a way he can talk me out of snitching on him without admitting he's done anything wrong. Eventually he says he doesn't know anyone specific, he just had the impression this was standard practice. I tell him it's not my job to police this and we'll see what the account side people want to do about it. I wish him a pleasant afternoon. He wants to know, for some reason, if this call has been recorded. It has. I did send the message, although I doubt anything comes of it. The worst case would be he and all of his colleagues would have to sit through half an hour of somebody from our legal department explaining the basics of contract law. To wit, the fact you didn't read a contract doesn't mean you're absolved from following it once you sign it. And it's most likely he's just going to have to worry about it for a week or so until it's clear nothing will come of it. The fact is, he's right, and practically everybody does this, and our people have largely decided to look the other way, although nobody's actually come right out and told me he was making money off an academic plan before, and it's all on tape. So who knows? I'd have left it completely alone if the guy hadn't been such a dumbo to me about, "Oh, look at me and my $400 an hour." I think the main problem is the people who get upset at customer support don't realize that these people have nothing to do with the problems they're facing. And these are real people that they're trying to yell at and say they're so important to and all that stuff. So you don't want to upset those people for no good reason at all. They're literally there to just try and help you, unless, of course, it's a company that tries to push them in a certain direction that's not good. Either way, usually they're there to help you. Anne tells me I have to give her my eyeshadow collection because she works harder than me, so deserves it more. I recently got into makeup. Mainly eyeshadow. I have some minimal art talent that lends itself to colorful looks. The palettes I have are expensive. They're from JSC, but they are great quality, and a key point is that they were gifts. I have 5 palettes. 3 were Christmas gifts and 2 were early birthday gifts. My aunt, married to my mom's youngest brother, recently became a makeup artist. Her 5th job after doing nails, hair, massage, and nannying. She has a clean but basic style of makeup and was unpracticed and unwilling to work with more color at first. She did not get many clients because her work was reviewed as basic, dull, ordinary, and she was rigid, inflexible, and unwilling to provide exactly what clients wanted. This resulted in her having to work twice as hard for barely any money. She came over wanting Mom's advice on how to improve and was told to offer more colorful looks to add variety. She claimed to have no idea what colorful palettes were good quality, so Mom had to show her one of my favorites. It's red themed. She remarked that it was good quality, felt nice, seemed usable, and that she would happily use it on clients. She then proceeded to close it, stand up with it, and attempt to take it to her car. Mom stopped her before she could reach the door and asked what she thought she was doing. Her response? I thought it would be a good idea to borrow this one to see if I could really use it. Mom got my palette back and Aunt left in a huff after being told off for not asking and then being told no when she asked a minute later. 2 days later, my aunt begins to text me. I really like that eyeshadow palette you showed me the other day. So do I. It's great to use and the colors work great for my complexion. Would it be possible for me to have it? I need more color to work with and have no money to spare. I know you didn't pay for it, so it wouldn't make much of a difference for you to give it to me. Just don't tell your mom. I'm not doing that. I wanted it for ages and got it as a gift from my mom. I'm not just going to give it away. Plus, it was expensive for Mom to get, so I certainly can't let it go for free or without telling her. Just agree, you spoiled brat. I need this to keep my business going. I have to work hours a day to keep your cousins fed and clothed, so the least you can do is help me out because you certainly don't work as hard as me. I'm not giving away a gift, and I'm not the one who has 4 kids but can't keep a stable job. I also know you're not that desperate because Uncle has a well-paying job. So please, just leave me alone. Fine, brat. See if we ever help your ungrateful butt again after this. It's not my fault I keep losing jobs when people like you refuse to give a hardworking mom any help. Goodbye forever. She called my mom the next day to ask her to babysit her kids for the day while she went shopping. She came back and started complaining loudly about how hard is it to get decent eyeshadow when no one is willing to help you get started. I just stood up and went to my room. Yeah, that's not okay. Asking for something that belongs to somebody else was a gift to them and is pretty expensive, and then pulling the, oh, I'm related to you, oh, I work harder than you, all this and that. Nah, miss me with any of that stuff. Good on OP and good on OP's mom for staying firm on them keeping the palette. Don't need that person in their life anyways, and I'm sure they weren't going to help you like they're trying to get you to help them. Aren't old enough to buy a round, aren't old enough to have a real drink. I just remembered this story, one of my all-time favorites. I was out at a bar with some friends, about 10 of us. I don't know if this was universal, but where I come from we often do rounds of drinks in pubs. So one person buys everyone a drink, then the next till everyone has bought drinks. Everyone is supposed to get a round in to pay back all the drinks you get. Obvious, right? I explain because I've met many people who have never heard of this concept. In fairness, it is problematic as it allows for people to conveniently forget. It happens. Sometimes people genuinely don't get their round in. After all, not everyone wants 10 drinks, but you are allowed to opt out. But many people like to get their 9 drinks from everyone else, then head off. I don't know if these people think we don't notice, but these people get a name for themselves very quickly, of course, when they do it constantly. Anyway, back to the night out. One of the people there is well known to never buy a round. He's well off, has a good job. I assume he just thinks people don't notice. He will drink all night, but will just wait till someone else pays for all their drinks. But because we're all nice people, we don't call him out on it. Annoys the heck out of me, which is why I just often refuse drinks from anyone else and take care of my own drinks a lot of the time. One of my awesome friends started asking what everyone wanted as he was ordering this round. Mostly beers. First person to call out is Mr. Cheapskate, asking for a specific beer. Friend takes all orders and heads to the bar. 10 minutes later comes back with beers for everyone, but for Mr. Cheapskate, he gives him a pint glass of blackcurrant juice. The kind they give out for 30 cents, diluted stuff, with a crazy straw. He looks him straight in the eye and says, "Not old enough to buy a round? Not old enough to have a real drink." Best night ever. Yeah, that's what that dude deserves. If everybody's going around buying a drink, being fair to everybody, and then there's just this dude that cheats everybody, never pays for anything, I'm glad that they got a little bit of humiliation. Put them in their place. They need to step up and pay for other people too once in a while. first person to call out when they're calling for a round. Yeah, okay. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening to and watching the Storytime channel. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and let us know what you thought about these stories in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching and listening to the Storytime channel.